Hi class, welcome to Human Services 251, your second semester of your internship course in our Human Services program. For many of you, this is one of the very last classes that you're going to be taking before graduation in just a few weeks. Some of you may be finishing up classes in the summer or fall semester, and that is just fine. But either way, whichever category you fall into, you are coming to the end of the line, and that is exciting, and that's a thing to celebrate together this semester. I wanted to record a quick video announcement for everyone just to welcome you to class. I know that we have a little bit of an odd situation here in that we have a combined Human Services 251. Usually there is an in-person section of 250 and 251, and then our hybrid remote, what used to be Zoom is now Teams, a section of 250 and 251 as well. That is usually an evening section. For those of you who do not know, Miss Nelligan is preparing to retire after many years of state service in South Carolina. And so we are doing things just a little bit differently this semester. And so Miss Nelligan is going to be hanging out with us and available to you as an advisor. And some of you may have maybe some mini master classes that you're finishing with her at the beginning of the spring semester. But I am going to be taking care of everybody for Human Services 251 as she does prepare to bring this semester and her time at Central Carolina with us to a close. We are super sad to see her go, but very excited for the freedom and the second life that she's about to have after her retirement date. So for those of you who I have not had the chance to meet yet, my name is Allie Charlton. I do work full-time at the college, not as an instructor, but I am the executive director of admissions, which is a new-ish role for me even since I had started with my class in 250 in the fall. I was the director of the advisement center, and I have returned to admissions. I do teach human services classes part-time, though. I also teach College 105 part-time. So what does that mean? I am pretty accessible, especially by email, but I do have to use discretion in terms of juggling being an instructor, a part-time instructor, versus my full-time job. So in terms of contacting me, being able to, get in touch with me for any questions or concerns, I do have a Google Voice number that is provided in all of the contact information, all of the instructor information, syllabus, all that good stuff in our course. You can text or call that at any time. If you call, chances are you're going to have to leave a voicemail. Please do leave a voicemail so that I know who has called. Or you can text that number, and just as soon as I am able to, pick up my phone, then I can respond to you. You are also welcome to email me, and usually I can answer emails pretty quickly, again, usually on a lunch break or either, first thing early in the morning or towards the end of the day. So I am very accessible. What that does mean, though, is that I'm not available for like drop-ins or walk-ins to my office on campus, even though you will be able to find an office for me on campus. Please do reach out to me if you need to make an appointment or time to meet or chat. We will probably do that by Microsoft Teams, probably not at the office or on campus unless there are some pretty serious extenuating circumstances. Normally in Human Services 251, we don't necessarily have any discussion assignments because we are meeting on Microsoft Teams. But because we are combining groups here, I do have just like an introductory discussion board open for week 1 and 2, just so that you guys can also introduce yourselves to one another, because our first class time together is not going to be until Monday, January 27th. This is a little bit different than 250, where we met a couple of times at the beginning of the semester, kind of clustered together. Second semester, we're expecting you to hit the ground running, have a much better idea of what you're doing and getting started. And so we want you to be able to focus on getting into your agencies and getting those hours started. And then we'll touch base in a couple of weeks and see how everything is starting. So check out the discussion board, dig deep into our D2L because I am the only instructor teaching this course this semester. I have done a little bit of redesign with some things, moved things around a little bit from what either class section may have experienced in 250, but I'm hoping that you may find that things are maybe, organized in a way that maybe better or easier for you. I'm totally open to feedback and would certainly appreciate that. I have also gone through and because this is a remote class and some of you certainly would have wanted some more in-person engagement, I've gone through and I have done some resource sharing with you in our course this semester. A lot of YouTube videos, links to different things that we maybe would have had more time to discuss or talk about in class for those of you who would have preferred that. For those of you who would have, signed up for that in-person section if you were able to. So I certainly encourage you to, start digging around. All assignments are open for you to be able to complete, so you are welcome to work ahead. I am totally fine with that. It doesn't mean that I'm going to race to grade it necessarily. I usually do grade assignments together, but you are welcome to work ahead. I certainly encourage it if your, life allows that, if that is easier for you. But the big thing is that we want to make sure that we are taking care of a couple of things up front. If you have not completed your spring semester internship agreement, that is absolute first priority. You can email us a copy of it, but the actual paper copy does need to make its way to the Human Services office one way or the other to Ms. Patty Gill. So please make sure that you are taking care of that. Miss Gill did send out emails this past week for anybody who was missing an agreement, so please be checking your email and monitoring for those things. We want to make sure that you are working on a new set of measurable learning objectives. So we certainly expect those objectives to be different this time, even if you are at your same agency. You have a whole semester of experience under your belt. So, let's dig a little bit deeper and more meaningfully into those objectives. If you did change agencies for the spring semester, that is okay. But I would still expect that those objectives would be different and a little bit more hand-tailored to your new agency, because you should be working with your supervisor to develop those. And so they should be probably at least a little bit different from whatever you may have had for the fall semester. So internship agreements, measurable learning objectives, and the updated, ethical standard signature that automatically gets assigned with that or attached with that. Starting your hours, that's really the big thing. So the spring semester is a little bit less stressful than the fall semester because we don't have fall break and Thanksgiving and, then finals. We just have spring break right smack in the middle of the semester. So that can be helpful if you were stressed about hours at the beginning of last semester. In terms of like getting started and, feeling like you could kind of front load your hours and not feeling like you had to rush to finish them all at the end. Hopefully nobody will be in that position. But we do want you to get in there. So make sure that you are having conversations with your supervisors, figuring out what new exciting projects, responsibilities, additional responsibilities you can be taking on if you're returning to the same agency. Thinking big, thinking creatively. Considering your agency's missions and clientele, and how can you contribute to those things, and what can you learn to further grow as a human services professional as you are preparing to graduate and go into the workforce. If you have any questions or concerns at all about any of that initial paperwork, any communication with your supervisor, any concerns about like scheduling, getting in and starting your hours, if you're getting any pushback about that, please let me know immediately. Do not wait until our first Teams call on January 27th to let me know those things. Please text, call, or email me and let me know that there is something going on right up front. Let's get it nipped in the bud and have a great semester so that this is not the class that you are stressing out about as you are facing graduation. I look forward to seeing you all on the 27th and also starting to see you get engaged in D2L online, including with one another. And I hope we have a great semester together.